Heartwood Hotel. Chapter 6. The Morning Meeting. Now Mona could begin working on the rug in earnest. She made a loom out of sticks, and every morning she got up early before Tilly to work on it, and every night she told Tilly she was too tired for their usual talks. Then, when Tilly was definitely sound asleep and snoring, Tilly always snored, Mona took the rug out and worked on it some more. Over, under, she wove, criss-cross, day after day. She marked off the countdown calendar. The more she worked on the rug, the more Mona wanted it to be fully finished before anyone saw it. She wanted it to be a surprise. Then one morning, she was surprised herself by a loud knock. Tilly woke up at once, and Mona scrambled to stuff the weaving under her bed. Tilly rubbed her eyes. Huh? What's that? What are you doing, Mona? Mona and Tilly, came Giles' voice through the door. Mr. Heartwood called an early meeting in the kitchen. Hurry, scurry. Tilly raised her eyebrows, but asked no more about what Mona had been doing. Mona was relieved as they both pulled on their aprons and hurried to the kitchen. In the kitchen, Mr. Heartwood was standing at the head of the table, with Miss Prickles by his side. Instead of her usual smile, she wore a frown, and there was a box on the table with a label on it. Beech Nut Biscuits. The box was empty. Mona and Tilly exchanged raised eye glances, then took a seat together on the bench as others joined them. The carpenter ants, the laundry rabbits, even Tony the woodpecker, who was the hotel security guard, was there. What's going on? Mona wondered. Once everyone had gathered, Mr. Heartwood cleared his throat. Thank you for all coming. I usually wouldn't be so fussed, but because of the snow and the new guests, I must. He took a deep breath, gazed down at the biscuit box, then looked back at the animals. Some of our food is missing. There was a collective hush, and then everyone started talking at once. What food? Said Maggie. Not the carrots. From where? Added Maurice. From the kitchen? From the storage room, said Miss Pickles. First it was the cheese, and then I noticed our chestnuts were gone. Mushrooms, too. Last night I found this box of empty biscuits. It wouldn't be so bad, except we have so many guests, and the snow and shipment delays. Is it a thief? Cried Tony the woodpecker. I have been on the lookout, but sometimes it's hard to see with all the snow. No, it can't be, said Giles. Not at the Heartwood. There are no thieves at the Heartwood. There was a crumb I took, said one of the carpenter ants, looking embarrassed. Found it on the floor yesterday. Thought no one would see that. It was from the storage room, though. Marshall, didn't your parents teach you not to eat off the floor? Said another ant. A crumb or two will do no harm, said Mr. Heartwood, but this is much more than that. However, there has been a rule about taking extra food. There's never been a need. Why, we don't even have proper door for the storage room. I am sure this is simply a case of misunderstanding. Has anyone had a midnight munch? Or perhaps a midday brunch? No one said anything. Mona remembered the noise she'd heard in the storage room. But if she mentioned it, how would she explain being in there herself?
Mr. Kettler, you have a phone call, Mr. Kettler?
Tilly had believed that she was there because of the Duchess. But that wasn't the truth. Still, she hadn't been stealing food, only taking twine that wasn't needed. And she actually hadn't seen anything. Tilly leaned over, and it looked as if she was going to ask Mona something, when Mr. Heartwood continued. It must be a mistake with the records then, Mr. Heartwood. With Mrs. Higgins asleep, we can't be sure of what was and what wasn't there before. But I have checked her records, said Miss Prickles, and I know, dear Miss Prickles, sighed Mr. Heartwood. Suddenly the big badger looked very tired. And Mona remembered that he, too, was supposed to be resting like Mrs. Higgins. Instead, it looked like he hadn't slept in days. All I ask is that we please refrain from extra snacks, he said. Tilly's eyes were wide. She loved her snacks. Are we really running out of food, Mr. Heartwood? Mr. Heartwood smiled at them reassuringly. It's not as bad as that, but we must be mindful. At least until the shipment comes. He straightened the keys around his neck, and everyone waited for him to end his lecture with a rhyme. But he didn't.
Claire Brown.
It was quiet and chilly inside the kitchen.
Claire Brown, to the front of the school, thank you,
said Principal. It was as quiet and chilly in the kitchen as it was out that morning. No one ate many seed cakes or drank much, Mona included. She, like everyone else, had lost her appetite. I think the worry made them lose their appetites. That's the end of Chapter 6. Chapter 7 is called The Deer at the Door.